Do you enjoy working in the laundry?
No, sir, not especially.
Stephen King's creation Pennywise is terrifying because it appears to you as your worst fear. So if it appeared to Stephen King, what would it look like? What's the King of Horror's own greatest fear? If you look closely, it's not big empty hotels, clowns, creepy children, evil cars, or misunderstood adolescents. While he's spoken of some more obvious fears a lot of us share,
I'm really terrified of flying, and I'm also terrified of rats. So I thought of this story called The Rats Are Loose on Flight 62.
there's one more unlikely monster that recurs throughout King's work: laundry.
Police department here, and I am investigating a laundry machine with a bad case of demon possession.
We can see a dread of laundry in a wide range of King's writings and screen adaptations of his work.
6 pins, Dolores. You know that's the way I like it.
Spooky fabrics figure into some iconic horror movies outside King too, like Halloween, Friday the 13th Part 3, and Poltergeist. But for Stephen King, there's a deeper, more personal meaning.
There's a little bit of me in that machine.
So what's so scary about washing a few linens? Here's the take on why Stephen King is so terrified of doing the laundry.
This video is brought to you by Dashlane, a must-have app that's like an online bodyguard, keeping your important information safe. With Dashlane, you can generate and store complex passwords, autofill online forms, and do your online shopping in one click, all with total security. So click the link in our description below, dashlane.com/thetake, to download Dashlane and get a free 30-day premium trial. Or use promo code THETAKE to take 10% off an annual subscription.
Before he became a paid writer, Stephen King worked a lot of day jobs. But he called working at an industrial laundry in Bangor, Maine, the worst job he ever had. Back in the early 1970s, King was earning $1.60 an hour to wash table linens from Bar Harbor's finest seafood restaurants. And sometimes the tablecloths would be left in the back of the laundry pickup truck on a hot summer day. King described these linens, they stank, which was bad, and they were squirming with maggots, but I washed them, and by God, they came out clean. He wrote of decomposing clams and lobster meat, blood, infected fabrics from hospitals that were put inside what the laundry workers deemed plague bags, and even finding a set of human teeth. But it didn't end there. After a long day's work, when King came home to write, his typewriter was on a desk in the laundry room of his double-wide trailer. So his writing took on the extra mental feat of escaping the tedious, suffocating washing machines all around him. Much later on, you can see how this period still figures into the author's psyche, like a bloodstain that won't wash out of your favorite shirt.
I can see your dirty pillows.
In King's stories, laundry can play a literal part in dramatic foreshadowing. His characters often hang their clothes to dry, and that means they have to take their washing down before the storm arrives. You know, those symbolic dark clouds that are rolling into town in so many Stephen King tales.
Come on, Lorianne, it's gonna storm.
Just like we've seen in other horror movies, there's something ghost-like about sheets moving in the wind. But for Stephen King, it's more than just visual. There's an emotional dread.
Mud! Mud and shit! Goddamn turkey shit!
Often in King adaptations, there's bad news between the clean sheets.
Carol, we're leaving now. Oh no.
In 1989's Pet Sematary, one of the first undead animals appears while Judd's mother is folding clothes.
Judd, come and get your dog! He stinks to the ground, you buried him in!
More misery plays out around laundry in Stand By Me.
In April, my older brother Dennis had been killed in a Jeep accident. 4 months had passed, but my parents still hadn't been able to put the pieces back together again.
Characters have some tough conversations, sorting through their innermost feelings and secrets while literally dealing with their dirty laundry.
How did Dad die? He was killed in a car accident.
And in the novella that Stand By Me is based on, King compares a young boy's dead body to so much laundry. Ray Brower, dreadfully mangled and thrown into a ditch somewhere like a ripped open laundry bag. One of the most memorable examples is from Dolores Claiborne. Kathy Bates plays the title character, and she reflects on the worst part of her job.
Real hell comes on you slow and steady as a line of wet winter sheets. Snot leaking off your nose, your hands so cold and raw you start wishing they'd go numb.
Kingdom Hospital begins with a backstory about a Civil War mill where children manufacture and clean Army uniforms.
16-hour shifts during the Civil War.
If there's any doubt that Stephen King is obsessed with laundry, just remember, he wrote The Mangler, the story of a killer laundry folding machine. That's right, the evil in this movie is a laundry device that kills its workers.
Have you considered the possibility that the machine may be haunted?
It should come as no surprise that he dreamt up this story while working at the industrial laundry in Maine. This guy can't get away from the horror of washing linens.
She killed your daughter.
We all have to make sacrifices.
Human sacrifices.
And we might say all this negative emotion he connects to the activity in his work reflects Stephen King's own fear of being cast back to the laundry period of his life. He's one of the richest authors in the world.
But it has made me relatively wealthy.
Yes, not even relatively, very.
Yet on some level, he still worries that he might have to go back to the worst job he's ever had, cleaning maggots, blood, and teeth off of tablecloths and sheets. King's mom also worked at an industrial laundry, so this could be a greater symbol of the working class life he escaped from. We see this upward mobility dramatized in Dolores Claiborne, when Dolores' daughter avoids a life in the laundry because her mother sacrificed for her to go to college. Incidentally, she goes to the same college Stephen King's sons attended.
You sit down right this minute, and you can just stow that vase of shit.
So King invests himself in both the parent and child figures in the story. As an author, his work involves letting his mind roam free and create worlds with total control. He said that his fear of flying is about not being in control. So it makes sense that he'd fear being forced to return to a monotonous Sisyphean task that never ends because there's always another load. This would rob his mind of that independence to explore thoughts and stories as they occur to him. Researchers have linked boredom to many negative effects in individuals, including lower quality of life, work strain, alcohol, and drug abuse. And it's impossible to measure the spiritual cost of working at an unfulfilling job you hate.
But you go on to the next and the next. Before you know it, those sheets stretch out 20 years.
King has said, "I was made to write stories. I really can't imagine doing anything else." He's even said that if he couldn't be a writer, I'd be dead. I would have drunk myself to death, or drugged myself to death, or committed suicide, or some goddamn thing. So this symbol of drudgery represents the prospect of losing everything he's achieved. Laundry is at the inner circle of Stephen King's personal hell.
Get my stuff down to the laundry. 2 suits for dry clean, a bag of whatnot.
Yes, sir.
Tell them they overstarched my shirts again. They're going to hear about it from me.
For Stephen King, laundry is punishment. In The Shawshank Redemption and the novella it's based on, it's bad enough that Andy Dufresne is in prison, but his work assignment is doing prison laundry.
And that's how it went for Andy. That was his routine.
Andy's at his most miserable in this part of the story. Terrible things happen to him in this place. He's attacked and violated. After he gets out of the laundry, he may still be incarcerated, but the story turns in his favor. What's more, the film suggests that if Andy hadn't gotten out of this situation, it would have defeated him.
And I also believe if things had gone on that way, this place would have got the best of him.
This is a man who isn't broken by serving nearly 20 years for a crime he didn't commit, but the laundry would have done him in. Likewise, if King hadn't become a writer, the laundry business would have killed his spirit. The world wouldn't have gotten The Shining, Creepshow, not even Cat's Eye. An entire subgenre of film and literature would have been lost in the wash. Both Andy and King had to clean up others' laundry. So this fear isn't merely about cleaning one's own clothes. It's connected to the degradation and humiliation of being forced to endure other people's unholy messes. He writes that while working in the laundry, he would ask himself, why are people such slobs? Why are people such f***ing slobs? In Shawshank Redemption, the wrongfully convicted Andy is portrayed as a Christ figure, suffering for the sins of others, symbolically taking on the dirty laundry of his fellow human beings. The story also plays with the double meaning of laundering money, as Andy cleans the warden's ill-gotten revenue streams.
Stocks, securities, tax-free municipals. I send that money out into the real world, and when it comes back,
Clean as a virgin's honey potter.
His line about the warden's
river of dirty money
mirrors the river of shit Red later says Andy has to crawl through to freedom.
Andy Dufresne, who crawled through a river of shit and came out clean on the other side.
As if it's really the evils of his fellow men that he has to suffer through. Andy's triumphant escape mirrors King's own carefully plotted clean getaway, from the job he hated into a life of doing what he loves. Red's language describing Andy's breakout centers on the character becoming clean.
And came out clean on the other side.
As if he's laundry himself. He emerges somehow unscathed from a system powered by negativity, cruelty, and inhumanity, which have infected so many prisoners and broken them from the inside. Maybe for King, the laundry invokes that internal cleansing of the demons that every human being wrestles with. Writing is an exorcism of all that darkness and dirt.
But is there someone creepy inside, Stephen?
Yeah, I'd say there's somebody fairly creepy inside, but that's a harmless, creepy person because it comes out in the stories.
So ultimately, the reason laundry haunts Stephen King adaptations is twofold. It represents a life of manual labor he almost lived, and it speaks to the emotional work he helps us do through his storytelling. For The Take, I'm Kevin Marr.
The woman's dead, and that machine is running right now, right? Like nothing happened.
This video is brought to you by Dashlane, an online password manager and digital wallet that keeps your personal information safe and secure. Dashlane generates complex passwords, then stores and autofills them across all your devices, so you never have to click Forgot Password again. Dashlane is like an internet bodyguard, safe and secure. They use the strongest encryption there is to protect your personal information. You can even store your credit card and passport details, so that online shopping and filling out forms is as easy as a single click. Plus, you can share passwords with your friends and family without actually having to reveal the password. If you have online logins, you need this app. So click the link in our description below, dashlane.com/thetake, to download Dashlane and get a free 30-day premium trial. Or use promo code THETAKE to take 10% off an annual subscription.